I just started investigating because I went to workshops in the area, and it was all about back pain and selecting the right pillows and don't eat sugar, and those are important things, but they never really it didn't really sit with me. And all the brochures in the office were all sciatica and things like that. And I went, okay, that's fine, but where's the immune system stuff? Because my immune system definitely responded, and I started researching it. And there wasn't a whole lot back then. We didn't have the internet. We had microfiche, and I spent countless hours studying at the medical library in Charleston about the immune system, nervous system, and I finally made the connection. And I got a hold of some green books, and that's what really got me. Was I'd read a physiology book, and then I'd read a philosophy, a green book, and I finally put it together. And I remember when it hit me, I didn't sleep for 3 nights. I sat on the couch just all night going, this is, and I just made a vow that I felt cheated, that no one had ever told me about subluxation. None of my coaches, none of my college professors, no one, because they probably didn't know. And I just said, you know what, I'm going to spend the rest of my life communicating this message to the public in whatever way I can, just so they can choose. And if they don't choose it, hey, I'm off the hook. And that's all I've done is public lectures and writing and finding research that supports and validates what chiropractors do. And it's what I've done for 41 years. It's what I'm going to do. I don't know if I have another 40 in me, but at least another 20. And love to take my last breath as right at the end of a chiropractic public lecture, which would be a fun story. But that's the little bit longer than my short story of how I got into it and why. And I'll tell you the reason I stay is not me. I've seen that duplicated literally thousands, if not 10,000 of times. I've had so many emails. I run into people. I'm now running into people who are adults who are in the 3rd generation. You told my grandmother back in the day about chiropractic. She brought my mom in. Mom brought me in, and I honestly get that all the time. I get that frequently, especially with social media and stuff like that, where people recognize the name. And so that's just always been my mission. I haven't been deterred from it, and that's it. And that's what keeps me going.
Wow. Well, on behalf of the chiropractic profession, we thank you for that. And not that I wish ill on anyone, but I'm glad you got sick, because God used that avenue
Always.
To guide you to chiropractic.
Every bad or negative thing from a human standpoint that I've ever had happen in my life turned into something good that outweighed the bad by tenfold. Yeah. Every single one.
Yep, absolutely. Well, so happy that we do have you in the chiropractic profession, and I know you recently went through another kind of health challenge. How much you want to talk about that, I don't know, but
I'll do it really quick.
Black mold involvement and all that.
I was
crazy
exposed
stuff.
to black mold, toxic, deadly levels. Should have killed me. I spent 9 months in the ER. I was completely incapacitated. Middle daughter found me unresponsive. Took me to the hospital, and I remember the doctors, he goes, "You're one tough old bird." He goes, this would have killed any normal man. And he goes, "And you wouldn't have had much longer. You'd had another week tops." And in the hospital, and they did a great job, which is what medicine does, emergency trauma care. They saved my life, and they were absolute top notch. And then I had and still am in a sense rehabbing, and just waiting on some other procedures on my abdomen, because that's where most of the black mold sort of collected. And been undeterred. I mean, it slowed me down a little bit, but you work around it,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I know you've been at this 40 plus years, and we're glad to have you back and still around and still doing what you do. And it is really needed in chiropractic. And, me being in chiropractic for 36 years, 37 years now, of course, I've seen changes along the way. You've been even longer than that you've been involved with it. And obviously, we've had a lot of changes on how to get information and that. You were talking earlier about you had to try to get microfiche and dig stuff out about chiropractic, and there just wasn't a lot there when you started developing this. Well, now everything's at the fingertips of everyone, right?